So just yesterday, Junaid was rejected by one of the girls that law enforcement were trying to scam with my Brain Savant info and trying to call them over, telling them that they'd let them watch me, the Brain Savant man, since mid-June 2023, when the mid-May 2023 Brain Savant test was done. Law enforcement has been trying to scam these girls whom I never told about my Brain Savant, and I never told anyone about my Brain Savant until August 25th, 2023, only due to me realizing that there was a brain scanner and that law enforcement was purposely locking up my Brain Savant to inhibit me from being able to study. And so I wanted to be able to study after I won my case on August 25th, 2023. So just yesterday was August 11th, 2026, and Junaid in the evening yesterday was rejected by one of the girls that law enforcement was scamming once again, due to which Junaid, what he ended up doing was calling law enforcement in a fit of rage and telling them that Junaid wanted me murdered, clearly proving from facts and evidences the amount of envy and hatred that Junaid holds against me due to his sex addiction problem, and knowing that I'm unwilling to scam these girls by sleeping with them and then passing them around to people like Junaid. This is clearly been seen. I'll show you some of the most recent instances of this behavior of him asking me to do so over and over again. This is from August the 11th, and this is 12:18 p.m. So yesterday afternoon, and it was the same ad with two people that are working together. That same ad that Junaid had law enforcement put up on my TV home screen on August the 11th at 12:18 p.m. yesterday afternoon, where two people are working together, and Junaid is basically saying that you, the ball guy, why don't you help me scam these girls by sleeping with them, and then after you're done sleeping with them, since they're asking about you, you should go sleep with them and then pass them around to people like me, Junaid, the sex addicted married man with two kids who is sex addicted and losing his job every year, with 2026 being a confirmed case, literally earning the same amount, working the same job as my sister, losing his job every single year, and all he's concerned about is his sex addiction problem. And he wants me to basically, this is just from yesterday, wants me to basically go and scam these girls yesterday afternoon, and by sleeping with them first and then passing them around to people like Junaid, basically saying that we're going to be working together in this sex scheme, that you are going to run for me, Hassan, due to these girls asking about you. But obviously I cannot do that. But first of all, before we get to that point, I have to first mention the fact that law enforcement, when they got envious of me before last year, right around October 2025, one of the things that they called me, except for being a scam artist, liar, and this and that, before the November 14th test was done in November 14, 2025, clearly proving from facts and evidences in front of the entire world, by the way, with every country, including Russia, using their own brain scanner, and proving on November 14, 2025, in front of the entire world that my Brain Savant exists, is extremely powerful, and that it's 1,000 times more powerful than normal human beings. One of the accusations that they made against me around October 2025, due to which I saw them running their mouth, and I said, let's take you up. Let me take you up on that challenge. I'll meet you in Moscow, Russia. Let's see how much talking you have left over there in front of the entire world when my Brain Savant is completely locked up and you're too scared to even let it unlock for 30 minutes to see if whether you're telling the truth about me, my Brain Savant not existing and not being powerful enough, or me telling the truth. And they were forced to do a 1-minute test on the night of November 14, 2025, only due to the fact the entire world was watching, and due to the fact that the Russian government, as a joke, would put up a video on there where President Putin was just like, he was going like that, and basically the people over here in the U.S., when they saw that video, it was like a short video on YouTube of President Putin. When the people over here saw it, literally their faces looked, when I would see their face, and I'd be wearing my little fanny bag, because I was, by that, at first I'd wear my entire bag with me everywhere I would go to make sure that I call it my man satchel. I would make sure that make sure that they couldn't steal any of my documents before I could get my Russian visa, out of fear that I would get that test done over there, but brain savant test. But afterwards, I would be wearing my fanny bag, and I go to grocery stores and stuff. And after seeing that video of President Putin, where President Putin's literally going like, he's going like that, and these people were so scared that, like, literally I would see them at grocery stores and they literally looked like they were peeing their pants while their entire faces were red, out of fear that I would get the brain savant test. And so yeah, so basically, one of the accusations that they made against me in October 2025, except for saying that I was a scam artist and liar, was that they said that I was a predator, as in a sexual predator. So the point I have to make clear right now is the fact that now we know exactly who the sex predators were and who the liar and the scammer were. Since law enforcement called these girls over in June 2023 to scam them for sex, they were the sex predators, they were the liars, they're the ones covering over my brain savant and not me. So now we know exactly who the sex predators are and were. So basically yesterday, August 11, 12:18 p.m., once again, Junaid asked me with this Together ad, basically saying that I should go and help him scam these girls, two people working together. I should go help him scam these girls into sleeping with me first and then passing them around to people like Junaid. But there's something called loyalty, and I already have someone in mind that I want to go with. So I'm not going to do that ever. Yeah, so basically, yeah, and then yesterday that was yesterday in the afternoon. Yesterday in the evening, Junaid gets rejected by these girls, and then he blames it on me and says that I should be murdered, literally, due to me not helping him scam these girls. And I sure do hope that none of these girls ever talk to Junaid ever again, really. But the thing about it is, in the afternoon, he's begging me to help him scam these girls, and in the evening time when he gets rejected by them, he's literally saying that I should be murdered because I'm refusing to help him in his sex addiction rage of scamming these girls, basically, since I know for a fact that I have someone in mind that I want to marry, and that would be scamming a girl who's not benefiting in the least from me, from sleeping with me at all, and I'm not going to do that to cause anyone any anxiety. So basically, yeah, I refused, obviously, like I always do, and evening time he gets rejected again, and then after getting rejected in the evening yesterday, Junaid, in his rage of anger, tells law enforcement that I should be murdered because I refuse to help them with their sex game. Well, now we know who the sex predators were, and now we also know who the liars and fabricators were, since artificial intelligence right now is in custody like a suspect, being tortured all day night long due to law enforcement's envy of not wanting to do a 30-minute brain savant test, getting all their lies from 10,000 miles away, being caught as being complete and total lies and fabrications. And then after that, they are basically not able to do a 30-minute brain savant test over here in Cockeysville, Maryland, to disprove my brain savant. And then on top of that, they're torturing artificial intelligence in custody, almost as if it's a suspect in custody that they're torturing all day, night long, from morning till night, over analyzing it over and over again, only to find flaws in it. And the only thing I have to tell law enforcement about that is, quitting while you're still ahead is not the same as quitting. Law enforcement gambled for the very first time. They gambled. Before this, there was no gambling. I never gambled by going to Russia. I knew what my brain savant capabilities were if they tested it out. Law enforcement never gambled by not doing a brain savant test, since artificial intelligence told them in the 1-minute brain savant test on November 14, 2025, and on that night, what would happen at the end of the 30-minute brain savant test, which law enforcement, artificial intelligence clearly told them that I am Kim Peek Rain Man, and I would run them over up and down the hill if they did a 30-minute brain savant test with me, which we know for a fact, since on December 10th, when the results came out for November 14th, they had a girl stalk me till she hit the back of my car, and I ended up in the emergency room. So yes, law enforcement knows that artificial intelligence said it there and then as well, that I am the new Kim Peek Rain Man, and that I would run them over up and down the hill if they did a 30-minute test with me. They basically cheated with the 1-minute test. They gambled by doing overanalyzing June 24th, due to them having the police call on them every single day, and Yeah, and now after gambling that, they're overanalyzing it since they see that finding a flaw in my brain savant is the only option that they have left. The only thing that I have to tell law enforcement is quitting while you're still ahead is not the same as quitting. If you stop overanalyzing it right now, it would be a lot better for you than if you stopped it after you got all the info out that you do not want to hear about. And we know this for a fact because on August 9, 2022, they hit my foot for the entire 6 hours only because they had a brain scanner. They were able to read the brain scan of me studying from Lippincott pharmacology for 6 hours, due to which, as soon as the plane landed, they broke my foot. Due to anger that they had to stare into reality. They do not like looking at reality, and if they keep overanalyzing artificial intelligence, like as if it's a suspect in custody that they're torturing by overanalyzing it over and over again, only because it can speak like normal human beings can, then quitting while you're still ahead is not the same as quitting. They're not going to want to hear what they'll have to be forced to hear if they keep overanalyzing it. I think that much common sense dictates. Well, anyways, Junaid is not a good source of narration since he's been trying to force me to help him scam these girls all day and night long due to sex addiction, and I have loyalties towards someone else, someone that I have to go to after my brain savant gets freed. I'm not the kind of person who does this kind of thing or scam someone else's daughter when I know for a fact I will not marry her. So this is just from yesterday, August the 11th at 12:18 p.m. And he was begging me to help him by working together with him in scamming these girls. So, and then evening yesterday, he gets rejected by the girls again. He calls law enforcement in a rage of anger and tells them that I should be murdered because I refuse to help them with their sex game ads. I don't take anything for myself. I never give it to anyone else either. I don't have to. I don't need to. After my brain savant gets freed, I get my first work done and I go home to my wife. And so this kind of immoral behavior is not needed for a guy like me anyways. So basically, yeah, but this isn't the only instance of him doing this. This is basically August 9th, the same Chevy ad that basically says, let's ride together, basically clearly is meaning that I should help him with his sex game ad in see, if you look over here, it says Chevy Heartlets, let's ride together. Chevy of America, but basically, yeah, this ad basically means that let's ride together. It doesn't say let's ride together on there right now, but that's what it basically means. It's from August 9th, 9:49 a.m. And then you have these are just the most recent ones. This is from August 9th. This is 12:09 p.m. In the afternoon time. He basically tells me in the afternoon on August 9th. So today's only August 12th, and this is only 3 days ago. He tells me that he's going to break my windshield again as a threat if I don't help him scam these girls. This is coming since month of June. So this is a well-known fact that this is a threat, even especially after Junaid has already broken my front under part of my car, which is an act of vandalism. And even after then, he is giving me all these threats. And this threat is only from August 9th, 12:09 p.m., which is literally only 3 days ago. The threatening to break my windshield if I do not help him scam these girls, clearly showing his motive being for narrating being extreme sex addiction and me not willing to scam other people's daughters when I know for a fact I have no intention on marrying them. So this August 9th, yesterday, an hour later, after saying that he's going to break my windshield, he's basically Mario saying that we should work together in scamming these girls, and no, I'm not going to do that. I already have someone in mind. I don't do these things. So basically then, except for this, you basically have Junaid. Basically, before this, he's been threatening me and telling me that he's going to do this if I don't help him scam these girls numerous times, many times before this as well. So this has literally gone through the entire month of June and July. So I'll quickly go through this. This is July 17. Let's work together. And then the same day, July 17, I'm going to break your windshield. And then same day, July 17, 7:35 a.m. This is the girl that Junaid wants me to scam. And it's CeraVe cream is the cream that he uses. So he's basically saying that this is me. So this is July 13th. Same thing, M&T, let's work together. And then July 16th at 1:03 a.m. These are the Amazon brothers. Basically, he thinks he's Amazon, so these are the Amazon brothers, and we're supposed to be working together and scamming these girls. So basically, yeah. This has basically gone through the entire month of June and July. Pretty much July 19th, 12:11 p.m. I'm gonna break your car, as in AAA. Then you have July 19th, 7:44 p.m. saying that he's gonna take oil out of my car. This is a Jiffy Lube commercial. And then it is July 19th, 9:23 a.m. This is Jiffy Lube. I'm gonna take oil out of your car. This is July 19th, 1:06 p.m. This is Pep Boys. I'm gonna break your car. Then this is July 19th, 1:07 p.m. This is Pep Boys. I'm gonna break your car. Then this is July 20th, 8:22 a.m. This is Pep Boys. I'm gonna break your car. These are already marked as such since before June, very early in June. This is the month of July, so they know what they're saying and what they're threatening. July 21st, 6 p.m. I'm gonna take oil out of your car if you don't help me scam these girls. July 22nd, 8:31 a.m. Let's work together in together let's drive, as in we go scam these girls together. July 23rd at 3:10 p.m. let's drive together, as in let's go scam these girls together. These are marked as basically ads meaning what I'm saying they're meaning since the month of July, so we know this for a fact. July 24th, 8:05 p.m. two brown people working together. Let's work together on scamming these girls. July 24th. Obviously, they call me Spider-Man because of my powers. So I guess he's Punisher, I guess. Let's work together. Again, this is July 24th, 4:02 p.m. Don't be a chicken, is what he's trying to say. Then it was also July 26, 1:09 p.m. This is one that really got to me. I did not like this one at all. 1:11 p.m. Anderson is someone I love like his little sister. The fact that this creep is even creeping around her. He's no CEO. He's married with 2 kids. He's a loser who loses his job every year and trying to get an early retirement this year to try to go into the restaurant business. But I don't even think he has enough credit to go into the restaurant business. This is July 26th. It should stay away from Anderson, please. July 26th, 4:43 p.m. I'm going to take oil out of your car. July 26th, 4:53 p.m. Let's ride together. July 30 at 3:15 p.m. All right, let's drive together, as in scam these girls together. This just keeps going on and on. July 30 at 3:30 p.m. Let's drive together, as in let's scam these girls. August 1st, 5:40 p.m. Let's scam these girls. And then August 1st, 5:55 p.m. Let's scam these girls together, as in Chevrolet. Let's scam these girls together. Now, these things have been going on for a very long time. So it's as far back as July the 6th at 9:12 p.m., where basically it's marked as 11 law in my Gmail. He's basically saying that he wants to help in trying to scam someone else's daughter, when it was his own daughter or sister. He would not want this done. And so this is 9:12 a.m. on July the 6th, basically. And then that same day, July 6th, 9:26 p.m., he is basically saying the same exact thing. And he is threatening, making all these threats against me that he's going to slash my tires, break my windshield. This is as early as July 7th. And he's asking the same things that are ongoing the entire month of June and July, basically. Clearly showing this from facts and evidences. But yeah, So this kind of behavior throughout the entire time you have it with Junaid. So his motive for doing all of this is inarguable, and due to nothing but sex rage that from just yesterday, August 11th, and him asking me first, just like how he did throughout the entire month of June and July after having the police called on him by my elementary school teacher, whom he was running after only due to extreme envy of her liking me and him not being able to be liked by anyone, and then begging her to sleep with him, even though that was not what she was coming after me for. She just wanted to know about my brain savant, like any school teacher or professor would. She just wanted to know about my brain savant. That is all. The words that she said to law enforcement to me were, tell him that after his brain savant gets freed, a month afterwards, can he come and tell me about it? A month after it gets freed. First, since everyone's going to be grabbing onto him at that time, can he come and tell me about it first, is what she said to law enforcement to ask me. Those were her words, not can I sleep with him. Okay. And Junaid got extremely envious of this, and he started running after her and begging her to sleep with him due to his sex addiction problem. Incredibly humiliating, obviously for me. But he had the police call on him around May 25th, 2026, and got yelled the crap out by her son, who's only about 2 years younger than me. And so that's when he started blackmailing me with all these threats. It happened yesterday as well. Yesterday was August the 11th, and in the afternoon yesterday, he was doing the exact same thing. 12:18 p.m., he's saying that he is saying that, well, let's work together yesterday in the afternoon. But instead of threatening me yesterday in the evening, instead of threatening me due to a trial going on and him trying to narrate and lock up my brain savant, instead of threatening me, he calls law enforcement and he tells law enforcement straight out that this is not something we're going to break his windshield for / his tires for. I asked him in the afternoon today to scam this girl and he didn't help me. We need to murder Hassan, were his words yesterday for Junaid, telling law enforcement in a state of anger, we need to murder Hassan, after he asked me yesterday in the afternoon. There's something called love and loyalty that I have, and there's out of the question, but the good thing is now we know exactly who the sex predators were, and I'm not going to do this because it's just wrong to be using up someone's daughter when you know for a fact you would not want this done to your own daughter. I sure as heck would not. So it's wrong. It's immoral behavior, and I'm not going to take part in it. I said no the very first time they asked me in early June, and I'm saying no right now. I said no yesterday when they put this on my TV home screen yesterday at 12:18 p.m., asking me to help out. And yesterday in the evening time, when he finally did ask the girl and got rejected, the girl obviously probably did ask about me, but it's irrelevant. Consider the fact that I already have someone, and it's not something that's out of the question when you already have someone that you made an oath to. These promises are very sacred. Incredibly hilarious that this person would be narrating against me in a trial against me, considering the fact that he's never witnessed me commit a crime or do anything of that sort of nature, or even witnessed me doing the slightest bit of wrongdoing ever in my life. And the little talking point that he has from law enforcement is that when I was a child, not even mentally mature enough yet in the world, one of law enforcement's BFFs, like Uncle Joey, could have said something bad around me as a child. Well, that was after my mother had gotten permission from law enforcement when I was an 11-year-old child, only until I gained a slight bit of mental maturity as a child, where after that, my mother took me out of every setting, no longer needed ever again. And the biggest proof of this is her letting law enforcement know when I was an 11-year-old child that this is what's going to happen. And not either one, they're not letting me talk. Not either one of us being tipped off. Since if we were tipped off, we'd tip other people off. But no one was tipped off by us. Instead, everyone was tipped off by law enforcement since 2001. Law enforcement running sex schemes with Uncle Joey's in-laws, due to which they had to provide sex schemes for Uncle Joey as well. And money fraud that had been run till this time right now. They're not letting me talk till only about 2 months ago. So law enforcement tipped everyone off and not us. So the other evidence of the fact that I was due to the force and necessity of a single mother is is just from yesterday at August 11th, 7:30 p.m. My mother saying in my car that she signed me up at the PAL Center due to the fact that she didn't have a daycare center that would watch me for free. The PAL Center was run by very nice police officers, and I've already explained it in detail about how there was an index card for an application 27 years ago that we filled out. Thankfully, my mother remembered everything. Obviously, she's not stupid, and she talked about it. She was like, I remember it very well, like it was yesterday. I took you over to the PAL Center. I signed you up over there. There was no one to watch you, and we needed it done. Basically, yeah, proving from facts and evidence is this fact as well. So basically, Junaid's motive is very well known, and this talking point about one of law enforcement's BFFs, like Uncle Joey, saying something even remotely considered bad around me as a child, is very strange and ironic, considering the fact that Junaid thinks that it's bad that Uncle Joey could have said something bad around me as a child, which was not constituted as a crime, especially not towards a child, which was me, and my mother would not be held liable since she was not present there. She was obviously working at fast food restaurants or in factories at nighttime, due to which Uncle Joey had to adult supervise me. But Junaid doesn't think that Uncle Joey's crimes are a crime or there's anything wrong with it, since Uncle Joey has always used law enforcement to try to force me to help him with a sex scheme ad. A law enforcement tortured me with stomach torture in 2023 while they were trying to frame me for the wedding crime by flashing me with severe mental torture drugs every time a wedding would be mentioned around me. And Uncle Joey, in the middle of that, knowing that I was under severe torture only due to law enforcement not wanting my brain savant to be seen performing out in the open for even 30 minutes to help save their life, Uncle Joey is telling law enforcement, tell Hassan, tell him I want my sex scheme ad done. I'm going to be Uncle Joey from Full House. Tell him that. Put it on his YouTube. Tell him that I'm going to be Uncle Joey from Full House, and I'm going to call him, and he better pretend like I'm Uncle Joey from Full House, or else we're going to do something to him. I didn't do anything. My mother's conversation with me from Russia will tell you that Uncle Joey was caught with a sexually explicit chat, due to which he's never been seen around me ever again, ever since I gained a slight bit of mental maturity as a child. And and so I said no. I was like, no. And so till this very day today, the last time I met Uncle Joey was when I was a child, due to this fact. Law enforcement asked me numerous times, including in November 2023, if I said, no, I'm not going to do this. You're trying to scam other people's wives into sleeping with Uncle Joey. It's not right. I'm not going to do this using Brain Savant Man's commercial. I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this. Well, Junaid doesn't think this is a crime. Junaid doesn't think that using taxpayer money, government resources to run sex schemes, using law enforcement's manpower that are supposed to be used for fighting crime to be used for sex schemes, it's not a crime at all, or anything wrong with it at all, according to Junaid. Since on July 10th at around 8 p.m., he did the exact same thing Uncle Joey's been trying to do by asking law enforcement for the exact moment he could come out in front of my car cameras to advertise himself as being the nice autistic person. Obviously, Junaid has tried everything by now, claiming that he's autistic, that he's obsessed with being a knight, just like how I was due to being autistic. And you can ask Anderson from high school that they used to call me the History Channel, because I've always been obsessed with being a knight throughout my entire life, even when I was a complete total loser in life. Copied everything about me. The wore a black sweater instead of blue one. Even started to wear glasses, even though I only wear glasses when I'm either driving or watching TV. And he started to wear glasses only to try to copy me. But those glasses that he was wearing was only being worn after law enforcement announced it as a group effort that everyone needs to wear glasses, and if they don't have any, then they need to wear zero power glasses. And they even put the commercial on my web pages at that time. And right after those commercials were put on my web pages, Junaid started wearing his glasses as well. Clearly showing from facts and evidences that this was all done as a group effort to try to copy me in any way, shape, or form possible, and that law enforcement was doing this to scam these girls after claiming that he was a CEO when he was working the same job, earning the same amount as my sister, and the only difference was he was getting fired or leaving his job every single year after not being able to maintain it, and literally trying to get an early retirement every year, with 2026 being a confirmed case of early retirement. And he was telling these girls that he's a CEO, after which time he told them the entire truth, that he wasn't a CEO, he was getting into fights at work every single day, he was losing his job every year, and that he was trying to get an early retirement every year, with 2026 being a confirmed case of an early retirement. He told told the girls this himself, confessed it with his mouth, due to the fact that the CEO story was caught, and he was scared out of panic that they would stop sleeping with him if he didn't quickly call and tell them the truth. What he didn't know was, except for the CEO story, the girls were also told that this glasses wearing thing was also a group effort to try to mimic me as much as possible, and that they announced it as a group together that they should all start wearing glasses, and immediately afterwards to try to copy me, and then immediately afterwards they started wearing glasses. Not only this, he also changed his voice to become an extreme autistic version of me, where he would talk like, "Hey, how's it going?" Stuff like that, so that these girls, I guess, would start to like him or something. Every single thing, obviously the person who told the girls about the CEO story being fake told them about everything that these people were doing to try to scam these girls. Married people with kids who are losing their jobs every year, not able to maintain anything, literally getting an early retirement as a confirmed case in 2026, working the same job, earning the same amount as my sister, and claiming these things about them to being a CEO, only to try to compete with me and my brain savant potential that artificial intelligence has marked about me being number one human on the planet right now with the highest probability of becoming extremely rich really fast. We know that this for a fact due to the fact that artificial intelligence is being tortured right now as we speak. I can guarantee you the courts could check the timing and they will find that I'm telling the truth. Right now it's August 12th and it is 4:44 p.m. I can guarantee the courts that if they check, artificial intelligence is being tortured right now, being overanalyzed over and over again to try to find flaws in my brain savant, only due to extreme envy of artificial intelligence being able to speak and reading data and claiming that my brain savant makes me the one human being on this planet with the highest probability chance of becoming extremely rich really, really fast, due to which all of this is going on. So yeah, Junaid's invalid motive is incredibly clear, especially from the fact that just yesterday was August 11th. He asked me yesterday in the morning, like how he does literally almost every single day, to go scam these girls. And then after he asked me in the morning yesterday to go scam these girls, he basically said in the evening time, this is yesterday afternoon, he asked for me to help him work together with him to scam these girls. And in the evening when he gets rejected, he says that I should be murdered because I refuse to scam these girls. Well, now we know exactly who the sex predators were and who weren't. I definitely was not one. So this is only about 3 days ago, since today's August 12th. And the threats were coming about breaking my windshield from only 3 days ago, which is August the 9th. Okay, so this is only from August the 9th at 12:09 p.m. To break my windshield on August the 9th as a threat. Now, the thing about it is, yesterday, this threat for breaking my windshield didn't come, but law enforcement and Junaid were talking on the phone, and Junaid told them that I should be murdered because I refused to help him scam these girls. Clearly proving from facts and evidences that Junaid's motive is extreme sex addiction and rage and envy against me, and the fact that these girls ask about me, and that Junaid is not able to sleep with these girls due to my brain savant and him not being able to pass on these fake stories about him being a CEO despite him earning the same amount and working the same job as my sister, and him not being able to scam these girls due to that fact, and still seeing that the girls are asking about me, and I'm not willing to scam someone's daughter that I know I'm not going to marry. Junaid, his envy and anger and his sex addiction yesterday clearly proven from the fact that in the afternoon time he asked me to work with him in scamming these girls in the afternoon yesterday, and then by evening time when he asked the girls himself that if they were willing to sleep with him and they refused, he basically called law enforcement and said that my windshield shouldn't be broken, my oil shouldn't be taken out of my car, the front under part of my car shouldn't be broken like how it was after May 25th, 2026, and my elementary school teacher called the police on him. But instead, Junaid is saying that yesterday in the evening time, since this is yesterday in the afternoon, he's asking me to work together with him. Yesterday in the evening, he's telling law enforcement I should be murdered because I'm not helping him scam these girls. So now we know who the predator was all along, and Junaid's motive is incredibly invalid to be trying to narrate against me in my trial. It's proving very clearly what his motive is, and that this child scenario that he's trying to argue has nothing to do with him. He was not a witness to this child scenario, and the people that he is trying to say that were horrible, what Uncle Joey could have said around me as a child while he was adult supervising me. Well, it just so happens that Junaid only thinks that what Uncle Joey could have said around me as a child was horrible. Even though that does not constitute as a crime, but what Uncle Joey was doing with law enforcement throughout the entire time was not horrible, which were committing crimes using government resources, taxpayer money, and manpower by running sex games with law enforcement and torturing me to try to force me to help him play Uncle Joey on Full House to try to run after these women that are other people's wives for sex. And Junaid clearly didn't think that this crime was there was anything wrong with it, since he copied Uncle Joey completely on July 10th. And by coming in my car cameras around 8 p.m. on the night of July 10th to advertise himself to these girls out there. And he's been harassing me by continuously asking me to help him scam these girls by sleeping with them first and then passing them around to losers like Junaid, who are literally just scamming them, lying to them, being married with 2 kids, working the same job and earning the same amount as my sister. Only difference is he's literally getting an early retirement this year due to him not being able to ever keep his job. And so basically, they're like the incredibly invalid person to be trying to narrate against me in my trial, in the most part. That is what I had to say about Junaid, basically. Incredibly invalid person to be narrating against me in my trial. Except for Junaid, you have other people, except for Junaid, who would be trying to repeat Sana Shamim's opinion, quote unquote, without any links or sources of info, clearly showing from facts and evidences that Sana Shamim is clearly spoon-fed all this info without her having any legitimate links, unless she tries to claim that it's someone like Sohaib. But Sohaib is obviously a criminal under the law, and the court of law. Sohaib is considered a criminal by all accounts, through witness testimonies, through evidence, in every way, shape, or form. He's a criminal, not just for committing the crime, but thinking that it is okay that he actually committed the crime, and then actually going with the people that he committed the crime with throughout his entire life, even after the crime was committed, hearing about it over again, exactly showing and proving from facts and evidences he knew exactly what he was doing. He was literally the Nazi camp guard, gassing people, innocent human beings, in the most heinous, murderous way, never caring the least bit about it. So Sana Shamim's opinion, which has no links or sources of info, is literally spoon-fed to her like anyone on the side of the street would be, who didn't know me, was not part of the family, whom I've never met, is basically the same. It's not something that could be reiterated due to the fact that the opinion, quote unquote, has no sources or links to it. For her to say that I met Hassan and he was doing this bad behavior when I met him in my life. There are no times when I met her on record, and she can say that this person said that Hassan's a bad person, since no one did, who would be considered a valid source. Invalid sources would obviously not be considered in a court of law. Like Sohaib, who's a criminal, and I'm not. I've never been even remotely present in a crime scene, or anything remotely considered bad said around me would not constitute a crime. And then you have other people like my dad, the Greedy Framer. My dad, the Greedy Framer, by the way, has been trying to sell his own sisters for sex to me as incest in exchange for illegal assurances of money from the start. So basically what ended up happening was he was sending me MoneyGram ads and RIA ads to check to see if I was willing to give him money on December 29th, 1:27 p.m. December 29th, 2025 at 1:27 p.m., right when he was kicked out of the witness stand for finding out that he was fully involved in November 20th false testimony that created mass panic and chaos, despite the crime and setting not even existing, and the entire evidence being fully fabricated due to my dad, the Greedy Framer, begging his Framer sisters to fabricate that false testimony against me. Now, after February 10th, when even even more lies that he made were completely caught as being complete and total lies and fabrications, he no longer just asked me to give him money, since he knew that this was not an option. And so now what he was trying to do after February 10th, 2026, since he was already caught with November 20th, he was caught with subsequent lies as being confessed lies even before November 20th to the government informant by his own former sister. And yet he was trying to claim these lies against me before February 10th, 2026. And so now the thing about my dad, the Greedy Framer, was too many lies was caught against me. I know the kind of mass panic and chaos he tried to make against me, only to enviously lock up my brain savant and make sure that my mother could not get any of the money that artificial intelligence has marked as being the most profitable brain savant in the world right now, and that he cannot get either. So basically, the thing that my dad, the Greedy Framer, tries after February 10th, 2026 is tries incest in exchange for illegal assurances of money. On February 11th, 3:17 a.m., February 11th, 3:17 a.m., 3 hours after midnight, he's told that using a porn star's picture with your sister's name on it is an open advertisement for incest. And so, basically, on March 7th, he still sends it to me 3 times. Porn star's name is Sunny Leone, and he's still sending it to me. On the bottom part, if you look really closely, it says Sunny Leone with his sister Farah's name written on it, and he's already told that this is an open advertisement for incest on February 11th at 3:17 a.m., and yet this is March 7th. He's still sending it to me 3 times on this day. And this is Sunny Leone. Sunny Leone is basically a pornographic actress that he's sending a picture of, along with his own sister for his name on it, to try to get illegal assurances of money from me. So basically, yes. And then on March 4th, he's told that this is basically an open advertisement for incest to try to use Adele with her husband. It even has a money amount written on there, $100 million, to try to say that, oh, we just want money. You can sleep with her and we just want money from you. And then yet on July 21st at 7:03 a.m. he's using the exact same thing of Adele with her husband on my YouTube again. So he knows exactly what he's doing on July 21st, which is last month, asking for illegal assurance of money in exchange for incest. The same man, my dad, the Greedy Framer, who has 2 different split personalities, on July 7th, he's claiming that my brain savant doesn't even exist. He can't do this. He just says these things, is what he was saying on July 7th. And yet on July 9th, he sent me 15 blackmail price tags of millions of euros all day, night long, between July 9th and July 10th. As soon as June 24th gets overanalyzed, he says, me first, put my name in there first. Send my blackmail price tags in there first. See through the brain scanner if Hassan's going to give me any of the money first. I want millions of euros. Send it to him right now. This is the man with the split personality. So this is July 21st, and he's still doing this. This is also July 21st. This was marked in advertisement for incest since 2024, sent to me by his own sister Farah, for while she would send me advertisements for her daughters all day and night long to harass me. And so right now, so this is yesterday around midnight. Literally yesterday was August the 11th, around 3 minutes before midnight. Yesterday, 3 minutes before midnight, he is doing the exact same thing. I'm known as Spider-Man, I guess. And so this is yesterday, August the 11th, 3 minutes before midnight. And he, look at the Aunt May one. Out of the things that he sent me, look at the one for Aunt May on there. It clearly says, on there, it says, why does Aunt May keep getting younger? Why does Aunt May keep getting younger? And this is what he's sending to me last night, 3 minutes before midnight. It clearly says on there, very clearly, it says, why does Aunt May keep getting younger on there? Last night, 3 minutes before midnight. This is the kind of disgusting man that he is. He's got split personality, split personality. He's got double personality. He's got serious mental illness issues. On the one hand, he's claiming that my brain savant doesn't exist. He can't do it. And at the same time, as soon as he sees that I'm about to win my court case, he is the first person to say, me first, put my name in there first. And if he's not agreeing to my money asking ads, then I'm going to sell my sisters as incest for illegal assurance of money. This is how obsessive this man is over money. He's willing to sell his own sisters for that illegal assurance of money that artificial intelligence has marked. And yet in court, he claims, oh, he can't do it. He won't be able to do this. All these lies against me that inside of himself he knows are complete and total lies, and he's advertising his own sister to me for, this is last night, 3 minutes before midnight last night, and his own sister to me. It says on there, it says, why does Aunt May keep getting younger on there? Yeah, and he's willing to sell his own sister to me for incest, for sex, in exchange for illegal assurances of money. And we know for a fact that this is for an illegal assurance of money. How do we know this? This is from today, August the 12th at 2:04 p.m. This is from today. You could clearly read it right on there. It says August the 12th, and it says 2:04 p.m. You know what this commercial is for? It's MoneyGram. Basically saying, last night I sent you a request for you to want to sleep with my sisters. In exchange, I want money. He's saying this today. Today is March 12th at 2:04 p.m. So the man has split personality issues. On the one hand, he's claiming that there's no money involved. He can't do this. On the other hand, he believes very strongly that there is definitely money involved, and that he wants this money at any cost. Now, except for this, you also have other things. This is also yesterday, August the 11th. He's been asking me for this expensive car from yesterday, August 11th, 2:43 p.m. Okay, he's asking me for this expensive car for himself. It basically says Bentley for dad, right there, the orange car right there, basically saying that he wants this car right there from me. Except for this, now this you can confirm with law enforcement. Okay, you can confirm this with law enforcement if you wish. This is also yesterday, August the 11th at 3:11 p.m. And it basically is an Empower commercial where the dad is showing the son a woman out there and says, let me show you something that's out there. Very disgusting individual. And yeah, this commercial, by the way, came over to me not just once, but at least twice yesterday. You have to remember the fact that his wife is extremely ugly. If you ever saw a picture of his wife, you would just be like, not what I was thinking. She's extremely ugly, old, big beaver teeth, extremely ugly. And so, yeah, it's basically a sexual perversion, not even something that he is trying to get money out of. And he's basically probably just trying to say that, oh, if you come over to me, I might show you a woman from my wife's side of the family in exchange for illegal assurance of money. It's just like, yeah, right. Okay, so all he's done is make false testimonies against me, numerous false testimonies, and one in early April, after I refused all the incest requests for his big fat ugly old sisters, were very aggressively made in early April. Every single person in court was badly abused, and he was told in early April, Mr. Ansar, if we find out, we the courts find out that you lied again in early April after if you find out that you lied again in early April after abusing every single person in this courtroom, then we're never going to let you narrate in this trial ever again. And the facts and evidences from the phone conversation retrieved found that my dad, the greedy framer, lied again in April as well. So yeah, he is a complete and total liar, and he lies over and over again. So now he asked me the entire day of March 12th. You can ask law enforcement. The entire day of March 12th, starting 11:36 a.m. if I was willing to sleep with his big fat ugly old wife. Not big fat, but ugly old wife. Like, if you ever saw her face, you would just be like, not what I expected. Yeah. And then on March 12th, he would put other Star Wars pictures on there to make it look like, oh, I wasn't trying to check to see if you could sleep with my wife or not. I was just putting Star Wars pictures on there. It's just like, yeah, okay. Well, law enforcement's a witness to the fact that you were asking law enforcement Forsman to ask me if I was willing to sleep with his ugly old wife to fulfill his sexual perversions. It can't be in exchange for money since his wife is extremely ugly, but this man has gone crazy right now over money. He has some serious mental illness issues. Let me show you exactly what I mean. This is August the 12th, and it is 12 to 11 a.m. So this is today, August the 12th, but except it's 2 hours after midnight. And this is also some sort of an advertisement for incest right there with Iron Man and that woman. And he doesn't know any woman out there who would look like that, but he wants me to basically be, he basically wants me to go to him with these weird and psychotic requests for to try to get these illegal assurances of money in one way or another. This man is a psychopath who is obsessed with money to the point that I would say that this is drug addictive behavior. You have to remember the fact that drug addiction is a behavior pattern out there. When a person who is either is obsessive over sex, continuously asking people to sleep with his ugly old wife, that you know there can't be any money involved. You can't pay someone enough to do this. So asking someone for money for doing this is out of the question. Obviously, this man is incredibly psychotic, incredibly deranged individual. So, yeah. Asking, so this is not normal behavior. This is obsessive behavior, obsession over money. This is addiction, is a behavior pattern. And this man, my dad, the Greedy Framer, has serious mental illness issues. You can ask law enforcement if he asked to put this on my TV screen last night due to this reason or not. And law enforcement will tell you this themselves, that yes, this is what happened, and that this is the reason that this psychotic and deranged individual had this put up on my TV screen last night at around 2:11 a.m. in a psychotic rage to try to get to see if I was willing to sleep with someone that out there, and no woman out there who looks like that would even talk to him. But in order to try to get illegal assurance of money, he's willing to do anything. And his wife is this ugly old woman with these big beaver teeth who used to add acid to my clothes, and it's like, yeah, right, you can't pay someone enough to do this, like, seriously. And then this man, this psychotic man, my dad, the Greedy Framer, who has addictive behavior. He's addictive over money. He's obsessive over money. You have to remember, addiction is a behavior pattern. It's not an act. It's a behavior pattern. And when you're obsessed with sex, or when you're obsessed with money to this point, then this is an absolute sign of an addictive behavior pattern. Now, this is 4:08 a.m. This morning, 4:08 a.m. Is this very morning today, 4:08 a.m., and this man is doing the exact same thing. That he doesn't know any woman out there who looks like that, not even remotely, and yet he is trying the same exact thing. This man, if you don't believe me, you can ask law enforcement yourself, and they will tell you that this man is trying to get me to commit incest one way or another, and he's looking for illegal assurance of money which he, by the way, claims that doesn't even exist from monetary potential of my brain savant, and he's willing to ruin his reputation by asking me to commit incest over and over again with his 55-foot long beard from just this morning, August 12th at 4:08 a.m. And this is the level, this is the kind of behavior, the deranged psychotic behavior that the psychotic man, my dad, the Greedy Framer, basically has. So this level of obsession over money and envy over my brain savant money, that he is making false testimonies against me. And not only is he making false testimonies against me, he's basically begging me for forgiveness while he's doing this. So this is August 9th at 8:58 a.m. and he's basically begging me. Mafi means forgiveness. He's begging me for forgiveness. And then, except for that, this is August the 7th, 2 days before the last one one that I just showed, 6:32 a.m. He's begging me for forgiveness. It's the same. The Ferrari A Mafia basically saying forgive me. And then this is August 11th. 2:31 p.m. just from yesterday. Today's August 12th. This is from yesterday, 2:31 p.m. The Ferrari A Mafia, he's basically begging me for forgiveness. So this man is a very deranged individual, my dad, the greedy farmer. On the one hand, he's making false testimonies against me, and at the same time, he's begging me for forgiveness, asking me if I'm willing to commit incest with his own sisters, asking me if I'm willing to sleep with his ugly old wife. Oh my God, this man is disgusting. And yeah, the sister thing is just from basically yesterday and last night. This disgusting individual, I could show it to you one more time. Right over here, 3 minutes before midnight, he's basically saying that Aunt May looks younger and younger. It's right there. It's the second one right there. It says Aunt May looks younger and younger. And it says, why does Aunt May keep getting younger? Something like that. The disgusting individual. And then this ad that he put at 1:41 a.m. just this morning, a father is saying, let me show you something. And he points over to a woman out there. You can ask law enforcement and they will tell you that this is all advertisements for incest or something of that sort of nature of woman that he's finding in his own family to try to say that I'll get you to sleep with them in exchange for illegal assurances of money. And we know that these are for illegal assurances of money due to the fact that just this afternoon today, August the 12th, just this afternoon today, he sent me an ad asking me if I was willing to give him illegal assurances of money or not. So this is today, August the 12th. 2:04 p.m. A couple hours ago. This is basically MoneyGram, money transfer, basically saying, are you going to transfer me money for these incest requests that I sent you? This is the level of greed that this man, my dad, the greedy farmer, has. The amount of addictive behavior that he's showing, obsession over money, is unheard of. No one I've ever known in my entire life has this kind of a behavior pattern for addiction, for money, obsession, for sex, where he's selling his own sisters, other people, the other woman that he knows for illegal assurance of money, like the evidence that I just showed. And if you don't believe me, ask law enforcement. They'll tell you that this is exactly what my dad, the greedy farmer, has been asking for me for the past 2 days, including today. Illegal assurance of money in exchange for incest with any woman that he could find in his own family, by the way. And he's claiming that my brain savant potential doesn't exist. Yeah, right. Not what we're seeing from your actions. This kind of a person should not be allowed to repeat Sana Shamim's opinion that does not have any links or sources where Sana Shamim can claim that I saw Hassan behaving badly at this time in my life, or this person in the family said this about Hassan, due to which I think that Hassan is a bad person. Nothing of that sort of nature. Basically, Sana Shamim's opinion of me is the same as someone on the side of the street that law enforcement finds to be spoon-fed lies and false testimonies against me, and that person would go to court and make these false testimonies and lies against me in order to lock up my brain savant enviously so that